and welcome into the channel, everyone. If you are new here, my name is Andrew, and along with my wife Jessica, we run a full-time online reselling business called 5 Little Ducks Resale. In our business, we go to thrift stores, estate sales, and garage sales, and we find inexpensive items, and then we flip those items online for a profit on sites like eBay, Mercari, and Poshmark. So it's nearing the end of February, and we were lucky enough to have a really strong January, but I've noticed that sales have begun to slow down. Part of that is my fault, of course. I haven't been listing a whole lot of new things. These Lego sets that I've been working on have taken more and more time off my plate, and couple that with the fact that we haven't been sourcing a whole lot, and those two factors combined can definitely result in some slower sales. Now this time of year, I expect sales to slow down slightly, and so it's all part of the game. I find that if I just get back to doing the basics of listing, ending old listings and relisting them, and of course keeping a positive attitude, then things will definitely turn out. The benefit for you, the viewer, of course, is that this episode is going to be much shorter. The good news is that it has been warmer than normal, and so I got to do a little bit of sourcing this last weekend. I didn't find a ton of stuff. I didn't even find enough stuff to justify doing a haul video. I might throw some pictures up of things that I had picked up. It was mainly plush, and I know that Jess likes to list plush. That'll at least keep her busy for a day. So in the spirit of keeping this video short and sweet, we will jump directly into the sales. So what we are looking at are sales from about February 11 to February 17, so that Sunday to Saturday period. The first item was this Gibson Coca-Cola handle, glossy stainless flatware, fork, and knife set. This sold for $7.99 plus shipping. Next up was a Lego set. This was Lego Metal Beards Duel. It was 100% complete with figures, manual, and box. Took a best offer of $79.99 plus shipping on this item. Following that, we had a Department 56. This was the original Snow Village Tour the Village booth. Had the original box and cardboard sleeve, and it sold for $9.99 plus shipping. Next up, we had this vintage Jamar Disney Mary Poppins Flying Kites jigsaw puzzle from the 1960s. This ended up selling for $9.99 plus shipping. The next sale was the best of the week, and it was the one featured in the small packages video. This was, of course, that James Avery pocket cross. It was that sterling silver Jesus Christ is Lord cross. It sold for $149.99 plus shipping. Following that, we had this vintage set of 1993 Boston Warehouse Christmas-themed spreaders, which sold for $9.99 plus shipping. Following that, we had this vintage 1990s New Era Pro model NFL 75th Anniversary snapback hat, which sold for $9.99 plus shipping. I could have gotten more for this hat, but the strap in the back where it snaps together was broken. Next up was a consignment sale. This was a vintage 1993 Looney Tunes Bugs Bunny London Guard necktie. This sold for $9.99 plus shipping. Next up, we had this Stampin' Up! One-piece wood grain wood mount rubber stamp, and it sold for $5.99 plus shipping. Next up was another item from our Lego Mania haul. This was a vintage Wallace and Gromit 4-pack collectible action figure set, new in package, and this sold for $14.99 plus shipping. Next up was another Stampin' Up! Stamp. This was the set called Garden Whimsy, and it sold for $5.99 plus shipping. Next up was this Milka Oysterbecker Easter theme coffee mug, and it sold for $4.99 plus shipping. This next item was picked up at the same estate sale as that James Avery cross. This was that tall 16-ounce writable Starbucks mug from 2006. It sold for $9.99 plus shipping. And already the last eBay sale of the video, this was a piece of bulk fabric. This was a Halloween M&M character bulk fabric piece measuring nearly 4 yards, and this ended up selling for $49.99 plus shipping. Like I said, it was a fairly light week, but nonetheless, we'll jump into Mercari. The first sale from here was this Clinique and Kate Spade zippered makeup bag. This was a green and navy floral makeup zipper pouch in excellent use condition. It sold for $9 plus shipping. Next up, we had another consignment tie sale. This had a bunch of Disney characters on it with large faces, 100% silk, and it sold for $12 plus shipping. Following that, we had this Thomas & Friends motorized Kenji train. Took a best offer of this of $12 plus shipping. And ironically, just after that sale, another Thomas sale. This was the metallic Percy tank engine, and this sold for $13 plus shipping. In the last Mercari sale was this vintage Conair Pro Style mini hairdryer, $12.50, with original box and accessories. Sold for $26 plus shipping. I'm actually glad that that item finally sold. This was one item that I could have made an entire video about. So when I originally listed this item on eBay, they immediately took it down because they said that that particular Conair model of hairdryer had some sort of recall, which flagged it in their system. However, I went through the entire database of Conair recalls and didn't see that particular model being listed. So I ended up contacting eBay support on a number of different occasions, trying to figure out why every time I listed this hairdryer, it would get taken down. I eventually made my way to a customer support representative who took the time to listen to me, and we were working out a way to structure the title so that it wasn't immediately flagged. So we got it working, and it actually stayed live for a number of days. However, after a while, for whatever reason, the algorithm flagged it again, and it was taken down. And at that point, I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I had already spent hours on the phone with eBay, and so I figured I would just list it on Poshmark and Mercari, and it would eventually sell. And it just did. Well, that leads us to our last sale, which of course was from Poshmark. And the only sale from there was this pair of Ariat jeans. This was a pair of women's 33R rosy whip stitch bootcut jeans, which sold for $29 plus shipping. Well, guys, I wasn't lying to you. This is the end of the video already. Now, I want to thank everyone that had watched last video. I think it got caught up in the YouTube algorithm, and so the views were just off the charts. So even though there was a lot of hate directed my way, that's cool. I'm all right with that. I know that this channel isn't for everyone, but if you do like this channel, if you like this sort of content, go ahead and like the video and consider even subscribing to it. It really does help us out. So with that, I'll let you go for now, and I'll see you next time.